The Witcher was originally released in 2007 and the Enhanced Edition was released as a free DLC in 2008. It is published by Atari. The Witcher is a computer role-playing game that is different from traditional RPGs due to its intuitive combat and choice system. The Witcher follows the game style of a traditional RPG in giving the player lots of choice to decide what path they want to choose and using magic and combat, but the way these are handled are very different. Magic does not play as important a role in The Witcher as it would in other RPGs. You cannot make a character that heavily focuses on magic. The gameplay in The Witcher comprises of hack and slash elements, exploring, magic, alchemy, and constant dialogue with various NPCs to get clues and information about the current quest. The combat system in The Witcher is very unique. The player can use two swords, a steel sword for killing humans and a silver sword for killing monsters. The player can choose one of three combat styles depending on the situation before him. The three combat styles are the heavy style, which deals large amounts of damage but misses faster and more agile enemies, the quick style, which deals lesser damage but does not miss faster and agile enemies, and finally the group style, which does sweeping attacks ideal for attacking multiple enemies at once. The player can switch between these styles freely. Another interesting combat feature is the combo system, which allows Geralt to deal great amounts of damage. Combos can be achieved through precise timing of the mouse clicks when the mouse pointer turns into a flaming pointer. The player also uses magic to deal damage on enemies or to protect himself with a shield, although magic does not play an important role as in other RPGs. The Witcher uses something called alchemy to buff Geralt. Alchemy allows potion making, and these potions can have varying effects on Geralt. In order to make potions, Geralt must meditate and mix various ingredients accumulated from monsters. Some potions enable Geralt to see in the dark, some give him an added burst of speed, and some give him high endurance. Multiple potions can be active at any given time, but every time a potion is consumed, Geralt's toxicity level increases, which may kill him if it reaches a certain limit. As any RPG, Geralt levels as he gains experience from slaying monsters, completing quests, and talking to NPCs. Each time Geralt levels, his endurance and vitality increase, and he also receives one or more talents depending on his level. These talents can be used to learn new moves, unlock higher level combos, and increase the effectiveness of magic. There are three kinds of talents. They are the bronze talents, which are acquired right from level 1, silver talents, which you can acquire after level 15, and gold talents, which can be acquired after level 30. The Witcher handles player choice very differently. It is a time-delayed decision-consequence system, which means that the player's choice do not have an effect on the game until much later, which also circumvents the save, try, and reload approach. This also gives the game a great replay value, as the decisions made have a massive impact on the way the story progresses. Also, the decisions that are to be made are not between good and evil. Instead, the player often finds himself choosing from the lesser or greater of two evils. The Witcher has one of the best storylines amongst RPGs. In the game, the player takes on the role of Geralt, a once famous Witcher who had mysteriously disappeared. The game starts off with Geralt being found unconscious by a group of fellow Witchers. They take him to Kaer Morhen, the place where the Witchers live. Geralt remembers nothing of his past or who he is. While in Kaer Morhen, the Witcher's secrets stolen by Azar Javed and the Professor will lead a villain's organization called the Salamandra. Geralt starts off on a quest to recover the stolen secrets and lands on the outskirts of Vizima, the capital of Temeria. The whole story takes place in and around Vizima. Vizima is protected from the threats of monsters by the Order of the Flaming Rose and led by Jack d'Altersberg. While trying to retake the secrets from the Salamandra, Geralt discovers that it is d'Altersberg and the Order who used the Salamandra and stole the secrets to create mutants so as to protect humanity from the White Frost. Geralt also discovers that the Altersberg is in fact Alvin, the boy who Geralt once protected and developed a bond with. A great example of why The Witcher is a great game is best understood while playing the last act of the game, which is simply called Act 5. In this act, the regions used are the same and no new regions are introduced. But this act changes the once calm and peaceful towns into burning war zones. This act totally immerses the player into the game with its very real ambient sounds, coupled with the drastic change of the environment. Another interesting part of this level is that the enemies are spawned randomly in the entire region, and every time you pass through a previously explored area, there is a chance of you encountering an enemy. The part of this act that is perhaps the best is the fact that in the final quest, all the characters that Geralt has encountered throughout the game make an appearance and choose to help him traverse the ice plane or hinder his progress by getting revenge. All this depends on what choice the player has made throughout the game. This makes the players think back and reflect on their choices. At times it may even make the players feel guilty. The manner in which the dialogue are presented toy with the player's emotions, and this is done almost to perfection by the game designers. Boss fights are always fun and challenging. This act has 3 of them. Also, each boss fight has a certain strategy associated with it, but depending on what choice the player makes, he can completely skip the last boss fight against the King of the Hunt. Skipping boss fights is something that all games do not incorporate. Also, depending on who the player helped in the previous act, this act tells a different story. Though the final objective of the game remains the same, the manner in which it is achieved and the gameplay differs according to the player choice.
What do you intend to do?
I have no idea where the Striga might be.
The Witcher has won numerous awards, some of which include GameSpy's PC RPG Game of the Year 2007, IGN's Best PC RPG, GameSpy's Editor's Choice Award, GameSpot's Reader's Choice Award Best PC RPG 2007, IGN 2006 E3 Award Best PC RPG, GameSpot E3 2007 Award for the Editor's Choice finalist. The game has many fan sites listed in the official website by country. The Witcher is extremely popular in Europe, as seen from the number of European websites. There are also videos on YouTube which just have the narrative arc of the game, thus telling the entire story through the use of cutscenes.